5 high school football insiders out here at Riverside High School. Coach Daniel Chavez. Coach, thanks for having us out. I know it's busy time right now.
You guys are always welcome here. Thanks for showing up.
Coach, so we got the coaching carousel. We're out here making our rounds, hitting all the new coaches. You came on at the tail end of the school year, new hire. Coach, just take some time and familiarize us, our listeners, and people who are going to be tuning in just to hear what you have to say, your parents and your alumni about, what was football like for you? What did it start like as a player, and how did that transition into a coach, and what, got you here to Riverside today, Coach?
Well, thank you guys for showing up. Thank you for watching and following this great channel. I'm a product of this district. I really am. I grew up, went to Ramona Elementary, which is down the street, feeder program for us, went to Riverside Middle, and then I went to Del Valle. I ended up going to Del Valle. My parents made me go to Del Valle, and you know what? I don't regret it. That was a great place for me. I learned how to get a bunch of good friends, had a great experience, made history over there. We were part of the Sweet 16 team that was out there, which under Chuck Veliz, Primo Vasquez, Polo Gonzalez. They were all coaches that helped lead that way for us, and that was under 5A. And then we come back, we lost to DeSoto, and then those coaches went to Montwood. And we stuck around Del Valle, and we were there for under Stan McGarvey before Jesse Perales took over and just changed that whole culture around. So I was there, and then went to Western New Mexico University. We played football out there for 5 years, graduated, and came back. And one thing I really like to say is I actually got my start in football and loving the game here at Riverside. I was the ball boy when I was in 4th grade, all the way up to my 8th grade year.
That's awesome.
So I was under I was with Tom Work. I was under the coaches, Bill Stearns. I was all those coaches that came in here that knew. And it was funny because I grew up in that locker room over there. I was on the sidelines. Coach Recorder, it's a joke that we always had that, I was always the ball boy, but I was always bigger than them. And I always just loved being around the guys. And at halftime, I knew if they were losing, I'd go into the office and turn on the radio so I wouldn't hear any stuff that was happening in there. If they were winning, I got to sit in and be part of the guys. So this place has always been deep for me. Like I said, graduated Del Valle 2003, Western New Mexico 2008, and I got my coaching career at Chapin High School. I was a Husky for about 3.5 years, and then we went to Arizona. My wife and I went to Arizona. We tried taking a leap of faith out there, and it was great football. I was a Final Four football coach out there. I was the offensive line coach at Basha High.
Okay.
And then
came back. Big
time program. And then came back, was at Socorro for a while, Pebble Hills, and then went back to Chapin. And then this is where and then 5 years ago, Gary called me and asked me to be the offensive coordinator. And I said, yeah, I had to jump all over it because this is just a great community where I wanted to be, where my parents graduated. Everybody in my whole family graduated from Riverside except for me. I go to my grandma's house and it's all orange and white except for me. I'm the only one in blue from Del Valle. But I mean, this place has always been near and dear to me, and I love it. And so,
outstanding. So I know you talked about being a ball boy here, so that leads me a little bit into my my next question. So when you're talking to the administrators from this great school and you're selling your culture, your vision, I'm sure you probably snuck the ball boy story in there. But if you could please just give us a little snippet of what the culture you wanted to bring here and what your vision is for this program that you sold to the parents and the administrators. So let us hear what a little bit of that is, Coach.
For me, my biggest mantra is going to be built on tradition. From the yes, exactly.
We stand right by it.
The great players have come by through here. You got Dave Samaniego, you got the Herrera brothers, Mike Herrera playing at Air Force. You got Sean Jordan, you got the Tony Gonzalez guys, you got the Carlos Cadrillos, the Mike Stevensons, and then even then you got JB Franz and those guys that are out coaching at Eastlake and all. And then our guys that are now doing the things that they should be doing. Angel Munoz off at New Mexico State, and that's one of our biggest things is just built on tradition. And I didn't want to come back and change anything because I was part of what we brought in, the whole be a man, and that's still part of us.
Yeah.
But now it's built on tradition. That's what we're really going to hang our hat on. And then also brick by brick, that's what I sold to parents. I can't have these kids being great athletes on the field when they're missing pieces in the classroom, at home, on the streets. They have to be brick by brick. You're going to lay that brick down every day, and you're going to come to know, you're going to come to work you're going to come to school every day and you're going to work. You know, yes, we have practice in the mornings, but you know what? The first thing you're going to do is you're going to be in class on time. You're going to be there at 8:30. You're going to sit up in the front of the class. You're going to care. You're going to care with your teachers. You're going to care with your friends, the administration. You're going to be great out there. You're going to be great in the halls. You're going to be great in the halls, and you're going to come out here and be a great football player again. And that's just not going to go just for football season. It's going to carry on year round. And like I always told the guys, if you care this much, eventually that snowball is just going to carry and roll over. It's going to be a big thing for us. So that's what we're going to do. Built on tradition and brick by brick.
Yeah, and I tell you what, that's it's an interesting thing too, because usually new head coaching hires, a lot of times you inherit a program that you got to turn things around quick, and you got to come in and change everything.
Right.
And for right, wrong, or otherwise, a lot of times those changes are seen quick, and results sometimes come quick, but it takes a little bit of a finer, more seasoned coach, to look in there and say, okay, hey, we have great traditions here. Things are going great. I got a good culture here, and I'm just going to add another brick to it, like you said, and build on that great foundation.
Exactly.
And that's a great point, Coach. But, part of that, when you come in and you're going to, add to that culture and that tradition is some of your new coaches you have on the coaching staff. So, if you want to take this time now, Coach, if you want to talk about some of the new coaching hires and some of the key positions you have, hey, the floor is yours, Coach.
Well, I'm very blessed, when this job opened up, Gary leaving, a lot of talk was between Coach Ayala and myself. And, him and I talked about it, and we were both going to stick around no matter what. If I got it, he was going to stick around. If he got it, I was going to stick around.
That's awesome.
And it wasn't for us. It was going to be for the kids. And what we've done here in the past 5 years, I ended up getting the job, and Coach Ayala said, hey, don't worry, I'm still your guy. And he was. Coach Ayala is a great defensive coordinator. I don't have to worry about what they're doing on the defense side of the ball because I've seen what he's done, and I can trust them. We got him. We got Coach Robert Nelson. We have Eric Ressa. We have Chris Gomez, who we brought back, and then Oscar Gonzalez, who we brought out of retirement. But that defensive staff, they're great. I mean, I trust them in everything they do. As a new hire, I did have to bring some guys on offensively. Michael Sherman, offensive coordinator at Pebble Hills. He was going on his way to Malwood, and we took him away from them. And I mean, they have a great program, so he's coming in with everything they did well over there. Awesome. We have Memo Gonzalez. He's our running backs coach. He's my right-hand guy. Whatever I need done, whether it's our graphics, whether it's I need a paper, I need a flyer sent out, he's my guy I go to. And then he's a great guy on the field, off the field. We have Tommy Ramirez coming in from Irvin, just fired up, young coach, ready to go. Steve Solis, who was coaching with us as well, had to step away, but he came back, and I'm glad to have him on. And, I'm just glad to have all these guys back on staff, that ones that left and came back. But, I mean, everybody that we have here, it's great. I'm excited for them to all be here.
And I tell you what, Coach, that's great, too, between you and Coach, that he can stay on and that both of you guys ace. Because I tell you what, sometimes – hey, everyone is like, hey, I'm going to agree to that. Yeah, Coach, I'm going to stay. Because in the mind, I'm gonna get the job, so I want him to stay.
Yep.
But then a lot of times, because it's not working out for somebody,
right?
And you know what? That means, hey, it's time for me to go.
No.
And I tell you what, for two men to make that agreement and then stick to it, that's awesome.
Yes.
So, and it kind of also makes things smooth, because a lot of times with the new staff, it's like, okay, hey, I've heard Bill Belichick talk about it, before. It's like, hey, you should come here and learn our system.
Right.
And a lot of times it's easier for a grown man to learn a new offense than it is 60, 70 kids to learn a new offense. You guys don't even have that problem. It's already worked out internally. Might be a couple new coaches learning the program, but that's two grown men who college educated should be able to learn it fairly quickly. So that's great, Coach.
Yes, sir.
But I tell you what, we talked about, the coaches who are going to be instilling culture, and X's and O's, but now we got to talk about the Johnnies and Joes. Now that you've had summer workouts, you've seen the incoming group of freshmen, who are some guys that you're looking for in your system, with your new spin on things that you think, I think one of those names might be Carlos Rojas. I'm not sure.
You've heard about him?
Once or twice. I actually coached against him a couple times in youth, never won, but definitely great kid. I know he's already got some offers, and I just think you might be still wanting to feature him like you did last year. But just tell me about some of the other guys, including him, and what you think it's going to be like on the offense and defensive side of the ball. Who are some of the kids that we're going to read about on Saturday mornings?
Obviously, we will hear about a Carlos Rojas. That's just an athlete, a kid, a leader on and off the field. He just takes this level above and beyond, and we're blessed to have him. But we also have other guys as well, like you said. We have Toa Samoa. We have, he's a junior,
Seen him
and
in
we're asking him to do a lot right now, and he steps up to the challenge. He really does. We have guys like Sebastian Archibecca, Ricky Briones that are coming up. This is just on the offense side of the ball. These guys do play defense as well, but then we also have guys like Israel Rodriguez that comes out. He's our 3-year starter offensive lineman. He's just a bulldog. And then we have guys like Servando Avila that's going to be coming up. He's a sophomore, and he's got great feet, willing to learn. We have Salem. We have Thor. Guys that we just have that are willing to learn the system. And that's just offensively. Defensively, yes, you still do have a Carlos Rojas. You have a Toa Samoa. You're gonna have a Ricky Briones. You're gonna have Alonzo. We're gonna have guys that are gonna be caring for this team, and that's just like exterior. I'm talking, and then you come interior. We're getting guys that like Joaquin Ferreira, Josh Olivas, who they may not look like ideal defensive linemen, but as me, they give me headaches every day trying to block them in practice.
Hey, this is a results-based industry. Hey, it doesn't matter what they look like, especially at football level, more particularly at 4A level. Hey, results are more important than what you look like.
So. And then so we have a bunch of those guys, and I'm like I said, we're blessed to have those guys because we try to put them in the best situations to win. But sometimes it's going to be that, hey, you got to be playing uncomfortable, and they got to be there. And they step up to that challenge, and we're very blessed to have them because it's not hey, I can't do this. It's what do you need, coach? Where do you need me to play?
There you go.
And for them to step up, that's just a reflection on them, the reflection on their families, on this whole community. Like, what are you going to do to help yourselves out? Sometimes you got to be uncomfortable, but you got to get ready to go to work. And these guys show up every day in the morning to practice. They show up, and they're willing to work. They're willing to go to school and do whatever it takes. And that's just not in the football field. That's in all aspects of life. And we have all those guys on our side, and we're blessed for that.
Yeah, so, and that's great. And I tell you, because commitment is harder to get than compliance. You can tell people to be here, do this. And if you make it hard enough, if they don't do it, they'll be there. They'll give you the compliance, but getting commitment like that is the best thing, and that's the sign of a good program. And, Coach, you've talked about the coaching staff. We've talked about the culture. We've talked about the new additions. We talked about the coaching staff. We talked about the kids. But in the end, it's a results-based industry like we talked about, and that leads to expectations.
Correct.
So what are your personal expectations for this program for the 2024 season?
Without trying to sound too arrogant, we've won 3 years in a row. I think the district championship still runs through us. And that's with all due respect towards the teams that are in our district, the new teams that are coming into our district. Yeah. At the end of the day, yes, Joe Martinez has an Evan Martinez and a great set of staff and a great team. Austin High School, they have their great staff, a great team, and they know what they do, and they do it well.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, it's got to come through us.
Yeah.
We're expected to just give it to people, and we're not. We're working hard every day. So our expectation, win. Make it past that first round, because we know now we're going to have Pampa, the Canyon teams, West Plains, Randall, Canyon High, Hereford. Those are 5 great teams that if you make it past that round, you can go pretty deep in the playoffs.
Yeah.
So, I look forward to our district trying to set us up as well as themselves up to get past that round so that we can go far. But our biggest expectation is to win. At the end of the day, we need to win our district championship. We need to get back that Texas 20 trophy that belongs, that's not in our hands right now. But, we'll see what happens late October, or I should say early November. And, and get these kids to graduate. Get these kids, at the end of the day, football should just be a little staple in their book, But at the end of the day, we want to prepare these kids to be great husbands, great fathers, great people in the community. So our biggest expectation, win and become a good man in life so that you can become a productive human being in society. That's ultimately what our biggest plans are.
Outstanding, Coach. Well, I tell you what, all I heard is 3 district championships in a row. Sounds like winning might be a tradition here.
Maybe.
Again, a great culture that you're looking to build on. Again, is tradition here.
Yes,
Coach,
sir.
Good luck. Looking forward to seeing
Thank
you
you
guys
so much,
perform
Coach.
this season.